history could be made today. So buckle up for an exciting afternoon of college basketball here on CommRadio.
We welcome you to the Bryce Jordan Center. Holidays are wrapping up, but that's not the only thing that's wrapping up. The non-conference season is coming to an end. Live from the Bryce Jordan Center, two state foes clash as the Penn Quakers take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Welcome into Penn State CommRadio. Ben Hoyt here along with Carson Schuler. Mike Rhodes is looking for his 400th win today. The Nittany Lions are undefeated so far at the Bryce Jordan Center. They're looking for a dominant win over the Quakers today.
Indeed they are, Ben. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad everybody is excited as we are just about to introduce the starting lineups as the screen goes black and Penn State starts to send their intro video here on the screen. The BJC is packed full of people, especially for it being the winter break and not having that contingent of students here in Happy Valley. I mean, it's awesome to see this many people here, Ben.
It totally is. We've got people in the upper deck today. The lower bowl is very full. But let's talk about the visitors first. The Penn Quakers. They're led by Steve Donahue. He has a record of 127 and 119 as the Penn head coach in his 9th season. This year, though, they're 4-8. In KenPom, they're ranked 311, the lowest in the Steve Donahue era. They're going to have to get it together before the Ivy League season because only 4 teams qualify for the Ivy League tournament. Today, though, they'll have to rely on Nick Spinoso, the center, averaging 12.7 points a game. He's got a very tough matchup against Yannick Conan Niederhauser, averaging 13 points a game for Penn State.
Great point you just mentioned, Ben, and also Penn's leading scorer, Ethan Roberts, not in the starting lineup today. A little interesting to see, but as we were talking about pre-broadcast, seems that they might be going for a little bit of a smaller ball lineup today to start the game here.
And let's meet the starters for both teams. For Penn, A.J. Levine runs the point. Michael Zanoni, the other guard with Sam Brown. Braden Foster, the freshman, at forward. And then the man in the middle, Nick Spinoso. That rounds out the 5 for Penn. For Penn State, it's all of the same. Ace Baldwin Jr. at point guard. Freddie DeLeon and Puff Johnson, the other guards. Yannick Conan Niederhauser and Zach Hicks, both the forwards for the Nittany Lions. Now, a big key for the Nittany Lions today, make the 3-ball, because against Penn, teams are shooting over 40% from beyond the arc, but are having a lot of trouble inside against Nick Spinoso.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Ben. Whether it's 3-pointers or just field goal percentage, Penn allows their opponents to score a lot on them, and I think for Penn State, it's going to be Ace Baldwin Jr. and Puff Johnson shooting 3-pointers that could really make the difference today.
And it could even be Zach Hicks. We've seen him before. He loves to run that motion where he goes to the corner, puts up a 3. That could be a great way to beat Penn today. Now, the big key for Penn, as you mentioned earlier, Ethan Roberts is not starting today. Making sure Nick Spinoso is feeding the ball to his teammates, because not only is he a physical presence in the paint, he's also a terrific passer.
I totally agree, and kind of going back to Zach Hicks, he ranks 20th in the country and 2nd in the Big Ten in 3-point shooting percentage at 46.7%. He scores averaging 2.92 3-pointers per game, which leads the conference, and his field goal percentage, again, is 2nd in the conference. So lethal from 3. It'll be interesting to see how this small ball lineup is how are they going to attack the defense for Penn State.
And there's Miles Dredd, the former Nittany Lion, on the floor getting the crowd hyped up. Back to Nick Spinoso. He's averaging 3.3 assists per game, most out of anyone in the starting lineup today. So Penn is wearing their alternate blacks, and Penn State wearing their home whites. Penn State moving right to left, and Penn will be moving left to right. It'll be Niederhauser versus Spinoso for the tip. Carson, any final thoughts before the game begins?
Yeah, we mentioned the height advantage, but I really want to see, is Mike Rhodes going to just try to feed the ball to Zach Hicks and Yannick Conan Niederhauser early and often? I feel like just looking at the floor right now, they've got the height advantage, so we'll see how that plays out.
Final horn sounds, and the officials are doing their final checks. It'll be, again, Niederhauser versus Spinoso on the tip. Ball goes up, and we're underway from the Bryce Jordan Center. Easy win off the tip from Yannick Konen Niederhauser. Baldwin moving the ball up for Penn State to get things started. Now to the top of the key, Puff Johnson. Hicks dumps it off now to Baldwin, circling his way around. Back to the point, Baldwin looking inside into the paint. Yannick Konen Niederhauser, too easy from him from the low block, and that's how the game gets started, 2-0.
And just as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Yannick Konen Niederhauser getting in early in the paint.
A.J. Levine gets the offense started for Penn. He'll pass it to the freshman on the far wing, Braden Foster. Sam Brown finding Levine once again, guarded tightly by DeLeon. Levine moves with the left, crossover to the top of the key, inside of Spinoso, backdoor, Foster off the glass. First point for Penn today, coming the way of Foster. Ace Baldwin Jr. just past half court. 19:03 left to go in the first half. Lob to Yannick Konen Niederhauser, look out below.
What a alley-oop from Yannick Konen Niederhauser, went up and grabbed it.
Huge alley-oop. They tend to run that on the offense, especially early on. Full court press from the Nittany Lions. That's a 10-second violation. They couldn't get past half court. Zanoni was right there about to pass it when the official blew the whistle. 18:43 left to go. It is Penn State 4, Penn 2.
We can see Coach Mike Rhodes getting very animated here early and loves to see that 10-second violation from the defense there. Good press early.
That was a lobbed inbound from Puff Johnson to Ace Baldwin Jr. Levine guarding him. Near wing to Zach Hicks. Feeds it to Puff Johnson. Penn State moving it around the horn. Now they're looking inside, kicking it back out to the wing. Baldwin for three, just a little bit long. DeLeon off the rebound. It was tipped by a Penn player. Hicks driving in. Finds Niederhauser on the low block. He posts up against Spinoso. Loses control. Baby floater doesn't go. Rebounded by Foster. Now Spinoso leading the charge for Penn. To Sam Brown with space. Tripped by Niederhauser, no foul. Spinoso with a floater off the front rim. Foster with a wing three. Again off the left side of the rim. Three doesn't go. Remains 4-2, 17:56 left to go. Baldwin loses control. It's off the hands of Sam Brown. Sticks with Penn State. They'll inbound it on the baseline.
Great job here from Penn State early. Though the score doesn't reflect, it's only 4-2, but they're getting a lot of pressure on defense, and on the offensive side, exposing that A.J. Levine on defense, as well as Nick Spinoso against Yannick Konen Niederhauser.
Baldwin got it to Zach Hicks on the inbound. Now to the far wing. DeLeon for three, front rim and out. Zach Hicks on the rebound. He won the chase. Ace Baldwin Jr. driving into the paint. Shallow two. No, he's going for Niederhauser. A little bit too strong inside the paint. He was double teamed. Zach Hicks for three. Bit long. Third time's the charm. Puff Johnson got the rebound and was fouled on the floor.
Great job from the Nittany Lions. Offensive rebounding. That looked like three different misses, but good rebounding from Penn State. I think more opportunistic than, per se, boxing out and fundamentals. But either way, Penn State able to retain the ball through good hustle play.
17:29 left to go. It is 4-2. Another foul on the floor. This time it's going to be on Braden Foster. Still 4-2. Penn State will have the ball back, take two from the baseline.
Yeah, and looking at the stats early, Penn State has grown in their rebound lead. 5 rebounds already, and 4 of those being offensive rebounds.
The veteran George Smith for Penn comes in for the freshman Braden Foster. Inbound to Hicks, driving in by the Big Ten logo. Double team by Sam Brown. Zanoni, foul is called.
Sloppy play here from the Quakers. Lots of fouls early, and Penn State's just going to take advantage of that, and maybe that'll lead them to being in the bonus earlier than they would like.
Brown whacked him on the hand. That's his first foul of the game. 17:24 left to go. It is 4-2 Penn State. Niederhauser on the inbound. He's trying to work on Spinoso. Little bit long. Spinoso pulls in with the board. He's averaging 6 rebounds a game. That's his first one there. Spinoso. Dump off to Sam Brown with space in the paint. Met by Niederhauser. Now at the low block, Spinoso. Spinoso will have a turn posting up. Up and under. Foul is called on Yannick Niederhauser. He was not straight up. Drexel 61. Ben Hoyt here on play-by-play alongside Brooke Casey as action has resumed here from the Bryce Jordan Center. McCormick starting off with the ball to Hodges. McCormick, wing three, just short. Allie Campbell pulls it in, but a foul on the floor. It's going to give Drexel the ball back. We were talking about at the break, Brooke, a lot of local products here for Drexel. 3 of them played in the same league in high school, the Philadelphia Catholic League. As we'll touch on that right after the replay of the foul. Seems like there's some contact there by the baseline. Ball out of bounds. It'll be Penn State ball. But Amaris Baker went to Cardinal O'Hara High School. Grace O'Neill, Archbishop Carroll, and then Deja Evans to Archbishop Wood. All these teams have had state championship success in PA, and it's great for Coach Mallon and their team to have them all under one roof.
It's also real fun. You think back to high school basketball, you don't get some of the same kind of camaraderie that you would in college, but to see them all on the court together in a new light as teammates has to be interesting for those girls.
Merkel missed the easy 2. Campbell with the jab step up with the left. She draws the foul. 9:20 left to go. She'll head to the charity stripe. Penn State only 70% from the line so far as we take a look at the replay. Just got her right on the arm there.
Something interesting about this, Drexel is spreading the floor, making Gracie Merkel have to come out. And while there's no stopping Gracie Merkel, she's going to do what she's going to do. Drexel is doing the best they can with what they've got.
Well, Merkel leads in points and rebounds, 22 points, 7 rebounds. Campbell misses the first. That bumps down Penn State's free throw total to 63%. Second one is made though, but those free throws, they're gimme points. If you don't make them, you're bringing Drexel back into the game.
I said it in the first quarter, you have to be careful with how you're using your hands. Those points are not things you need to risk, especially in a game that is this close. Now notice Drexel's tempo has gone down a little bit, and it's coincidentally at the same time that Merkel steps off the court. I've seen this throughout the entire game tonight.
Floater off the glass, unsuccessful for the Dragons. Campbell in transition at the left wing. Penn State trying to get the ball rolling here on the offensive end. Talea Walker. Inside to Johnson. She posts up on Deja Evans. Through contact, loses the ball initially. Drexel called for a walk. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Campbell, last second, off the glass, no good. That's a shot clock violation.
I said before during the third quarter, Allie Campbell hesitated on a 3. She missed the previous 3 before it, and we see her hesitate here again. Obviously, nerves come into play, but right now you cannot have that hesitation.
And Penn State is so unselfish with the ball. They lead the country in assists like we talked about pregame, but there is a point where you just have to be more efficient and take the shots when they're open.
Especially when you lose one of your best shooters.
Huge block there by Gabby Elliott. To the wing. Other side of the court now. Campbell. To Shaylin Steele. She was the top-ranked recruit out of the state of Kentucky. Steele backs off. To Campbell. Up at the left. Denied by Evans. 2-on-1 heading the other way. Penn State trying to close down on defense. In transition. Great basket there by Grace O'Neill. She's in double digits.
Looks like they're firing at all cylinders. Yannick Niederhauser is going. Ace Baldwin distributing the ball all over the place. You got Dillion and Dunn also contributing. They look like the Penn State team that fans have expected.
Not only that, Penn State is creating turnovers, forced and unforced. 4 defensive turnovers, meaning 4 steals from the Nittany Lions, and then 2 unforced errors by the Huskers. This defense is just smothering. It makes you hard to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. And we discussed this in the pregame, but, you know, Penn State last season was known for their defenders. They would full court press a lot, and their defense this year has been a little bit weaker. Ace Baldwin has been phenomenal so far with the 2 steals, and you see Conan Niederhauser almost get the block there. But if Penn State can keep this up, Nebraska's going to have no room on the offensive side of the ball.
So both coaches are talking in the timeout. Rhodes on the far side, right side, and then Hoiberg on the left. Hoiberg is a very experienced coach, as we mentioned pregame. He was in the NBA. He was the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. He knows what he's doing. But right now, Nebraska has as many points as I can count on one hand, and I'll spoil it. It's 2. What do the Huskers need to do to get back into the game against Penn State? What is he talking about in the timeout?
They need to get their best player going. Bryce Williams, Ace Baldwin has smothered him right now. They need to find a way to get a mismatch where Baldwin is not covering him. They also need to start spreading the ball around and not making these bad passes that are just going out of bounds or forcing turnovers. Get the ball to Williams, let him make a few shots, and then get the rest of the team going.
They've had a scoring drought of 4 minutes and 9 seconds, and that's not the way you win basketball games. Let's move to the other side, the right side of the court. For the Penn State Nittany Lions, they've had a 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 2 seconds, made 5 out of their last 6 shots from the field. What do you think Coach Rhodes is saying in that timeout?
Keep it up. Force those errors. Keep making your shots. Look for the open guy. It's working right now, and their offense is soaring. And if it can continue like this, it might not be a game for much longer.
Both teams have broken up the timeouts, horn sounds, and we're almost back to being underway in Big Ten basketball here from the Bryce Jordan Center. And you can see a lot of the decorations on top of the roof of the Bryce Jordan Center. It's going to be hosting an event in a couple days.
Ah, yes, the Thon event this weekend. 46 straight hours. No sitting, no phones, all dancing.
And this will be a good pregame for that as Penn State starts off with the ball out of the timeout. Ace Baldwin Jr. running the point. Crossover from Baldwin, fakes the pass, goes to DeMarco Dunn near side. Dunn driving to the other side of the court, step back to Baldwin. Baldwin, top of the key, signals over DeLeon, gets a pick from Niederhauser. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Dunn in a triple team, 3 seconds left. Kicks to the other side of the court. Baldwin, as time expires on the shot clock, no good, but Hicks gets the offensive rebound, lays it in for 2.
Yeah, I thought early on in that possession that Conan Niederhauser was actually open for a layup, but that Dunn did not see him. Ace Baldwin wide open there for 3, and Zach Hicks just gobbled it up for the easy 2.
Esugin for the Huskers brings it up past half court. Now Ulis takes it out beyond the perimeter, guarded by Niederhauser. Ball moves around the horn to the far side of the court. Foul is called on the floor, and it'll be against Ace Baldwin.
Yeah, but right there is exactly what we talked about what Nebraska should do out of the timeout. Get the ball to Bryce Williams. He fired up a 3. Didn't look great, but they got it to him.
Penn State has made a 12-0 run over the last 4 minutes, but now Bryce Williams will have free throws. He'll be shooting 3 shots. Williams' first is up, and it's good. As you mentioned pregame, he is the leading scorer for the Huskers. He's transfer from Charlotte out of Huntsville, North Carolina. He's made a big impact in the Big Ten this season.
Yeah, and, he's a guy that in Fred Hoiberg's system could really thrive, and it's shown so far. Hoiberg, as we said before, a very experienced coach, and he knows what he's doing with veteran players.
He makes all 3 as Penn State now leads 14-5. It's back to single digits. Penn State will make a substitution. Nick Kern comes into the game for the first time. A little bit of a surprise to see DeMarco Dunn in the starting lineup today. Usually that'll be Nick Kern with the absence of Puff Johnson. But Coach Rhodes felt that DeMarco Dunn was good to go.
Yeah, and I'd have to say, I agree. I think DeMarco Dunn over the last few games has really been a bright spot on what has been a major drought for the Nittany Lions, and he deserved the start tonight.
Ball is on the near sideline, out of bounds, off of Nebraska. Zach Hicks will inbound right in front of the front court seats. Pass to Ace Baldwin. He grabs it with one hand. Yana Conan Niederhauser dishes it back to Ace Baldwin and lays a pick. Alley-oop looking for DeLeon. Out of bounds. Are they going to say it's off Nebraska? No, they're not. They're going to say it is Cornhusker ball, but they had to think about it for a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know, honestly, what that was. I would not like that play call if I was Mike Rhodes. I don't know if DeLeon's the guy you want to lob it to there, but good defense by Nebraska.
Ulis moves to the far wing. Passes top of the key now to Bryce Williams. In motion, Connor Essigin. Nebraska trying to run the motion, trying to free themselves up, but that defense, it's too tough right now. Spinning in the paint, another steal for Ace Baldwin Jr. He's on the floor. Gets it to Zach Hicks with 13:42 left to go. 14-5, and now the Nittany Lions can take their time, or not. DeLeon 3, open from the far wing. It was worth a shot.
Ace Baldwin's defense again almost forces a score on the other side. Great defense there from Baldwin. Thought they would take it a little slow on the offense, but DeLeon had a wide open three.
Down the lane, Niederhauser's presence was too much. Now Baldwin splitting the gap, going up, and one.
That was impressive.
Ace Baldwin Jr., he's a Swiss Army knife of a player. He can play defense, he can distribute the ball, and he can make plays like that. Tough up and the finish.
Absolutely. Ace Baldwin going against a bigger Williams, I believe, is the one that got the foul there. But just a great drive and scoop and score there for Ace Baldwin Jr.
Nebraska has not made a field goal from the field, excluding free throws, in the last 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Baldwin looking to extend the play, gets it to go, and he completes the three-point play. 17-5, 13:15 left to go, and I don't think this is how anyone thought this game would start.
Absolutely not, and it's impressive to see from Penn State how they really came out, and they've just been great defensively so far, and that has really been the turning point of this game.
Aaron Eulis, the transfer from rival Iowa, with the ball. Kicks it out to Williams. Williams, top of the key, 3, nothing but net. He drains it.
That was impressive. He had a guy right on him in his face, and Williams just didn't care.
Jobin Carter bringing up the ball with 12:49 left to go in the first half. Kachi Enza will pick left. Kern down the lane. Almost an AM1, but just didn't go down. The front rim prevented it. 12:43 left to go. He'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, good drive there by Kern going in on 3 guys and able to potentially capitalize here on the free throws.
Nick Kern will go to the line, and he was part of the first transfer class of Mike Rhodes coming from VCU. He's averaging 12 points a game, and the majority of it has been off the bench.
Yeah, he's been a bright spot, another bright spot on Penn State, and came with Mike Rhodes and Ace Baldwin last season and really fits the system, and it's very obvious to see that as he's been used on the bench as a starter, and he can really just play anywhere the Penn State really needs him.
He's played 26 games so far this season. He's only started 10. The big weak spot, he's only 26% from beyond the arc and only 72 out of 110 from the line. Kern made his first. How about his second? Bingo, nothing but net. 12:43 left to go, 19-8. It's still double digits.
And Penn State is still full court pressing.
Full court press, just as AJ said. Jobin Carter lets the man squeak by him. So Nebraska has the ball past half court on the far side. Nebraska looking to distribute top of the key, looking for the backdoor cut. They don't get it. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Worcester driving in against 3 Penn State defenders. Kicks back out for 3. No good from Essingen.
Yeah, it's pretty clear what Hoiberg's offense here is trying to do. Get the ball to Bryce Williams, but it's really not working so far. He's had a few opportunities, but he really hasn't been able to get open at all with Kern or Baldwin being on him.
Zach Hicks with the ball in the high post. 10 seconds left on the shot clock this time for the Nittany Lions. DeMarco Dunn rolls left. Goes to Kachi Enza on the block. Hicks with no time chucks up a prayer, and it's a walk. He shuffled the feet right before the shot, and that'll take us to the media timeout. So with 11:49 left to go, Penn State leads 19-8. We'll be back.
Doesn't attempt that shot like she did in the last possession. Now gives it off to Murray. Feeds it off left corner, and it's a 3 for Grace Hall.
That's the first 3 for Penn State today off a wide open look. Great job by Murray sensing the blind side teammate and finding her.
Maryland looking for a quick response, and Schmeichel gets tangled up, and she turns it over via travel.
Yeah, it looks like Schmeichel got hit in the eye there. She was trying to move right through traffic, center of the paint, to get an open look to a teammate from beyond the arc. She took one too many steps to do so, but definitely could have been a foul there down low. took a ton of whacks to the face.
Murray inbounds to Campbell. 7:39 and counting in the third quarter. 47-29 to score in favor of Maryland. Left wing and a nice feed underneath, and Merkel with the finish.
And that's Penn State's bread and butter there. A lob pass right to Merkel along that low block. When that's not working, Penn State's offense is not working, and it has been going today.
Penn State has hit on its last 3 attempts, and now top of the key, Smeichel has it. Looking for something, she gives it off to Sellers. Top of the key, 8 on the shot clock. Guarded by Campbell, and the jumper from the free throw line is good, and 1.
That's a tough look there for Penn State. Low percentage shot there taken by Sellers, but she just whacked her right on the hand, and it was actually her shooting hand too. So that's even more impressive on how that went down for Sellers. But you can't be giving up and ones at this point in the game. Down big, now 49-31. You got to make use of every defensive possession you get for Penn State from now on, and that's not the way.